Welcome to Ask Dr. Lori Live. It's good to be with all of you. How are you doing? Thanks for joining me. I'm Dr. Lori, the Ph.D. Antiques Appraiser. We're going to talk about all different things. I'm going to take your questions live. The expert answers to your questions. I'm the expert. You're going to ask the questions. I'm going to give you the answers. I don't know what's coming. I don't know what guests are going to be featured. I don't know what objects are going to be in front of me, and I'm going to tell you what I know. So again, nothing is vetted here, so I don't know beforehand. So if you're watching, of course, now and you're with me live, thank you for joining me. And if you're, of course, watching the replay, you say, oh, I can't see that. I don't know what's coming up. My first guest is here already. So welcome to the show. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. What's your name? Well, you don't have your audio. There you go.
Hello, my name is Don. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Hi, nice to see you.
I'm a bit nervous.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. You're among friends. I'm the best friend you could have.
Yes, you are. And it's cold here in Indiana, too. So.
Oh, I bet it's cold. Well, it's cold everywhere, right? Everywhere's cold today. That's okay. So tell me, what question or object would you like me to talk to you about?
I came across this object.
Okay.
4 inches tall.
Yep.
And when I saw it, it really reminded me of something that Samuel Clemens did. Now, this is very plain. And it's probably not his or anything, but I'm just curious because if it was his, it'd be a great honor to have such a work of art. So I don't know.
Okay. So how'd you acquire it?
Antique store.
Okay. And what do you know about it?
Absolutely nothing other than when I saw it, I thought back about the Antiques Roadshow, seeing something similar. I was like, I've never seen one of these before. So
is yours, what kind of condition is yours in? Can you turn it over for me?
Yes.
So you just bought it because you liked it?
Yes, and I also was hoping that maybe it might be his, because wouldn't that be something?
Well, it would be something, but it probably isn't. You have no provenance.
Okay.
So people go, oh, it might be his, but you have no provenance or background about it. Can I see the object?
Yes.
You keep moving it away. Okay. So you purchased it, and did you get a bargain?
I thought so. I mean, I paid $39 for it, and someone worked hard on it. That's not an easy thing to do. So
no, well, it's not an easy thing to do. But there are a lot of them out there, and a lot of them that are reproduced because of just what you said. It might be his. So people get that idea, and then they say, oh, we can make more of them, right? Value on that particular piece, just about $75. I don't think it's one of the originals. And I do think, however, if you could have traced it, of course, to an owner, whether it's Samuel Clemens or someone else, to an owner, that would, of course, help you impact value. Thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Certain objects you've got to think about with respect to when you're purchasing them, because, you kind of get that initial, oh, I want it. And then after the fact, you think, oh, I wish it were this. I wish it were that. You got to have some credible, concrete evidence about it. But I liked his style because he was excited about it and he liked it very much. It was in very good condition. That's really what I like too. Here's my next guest. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori, the Ph.D. Antiques Appraiser. What's your name?
Hi, Dr. Lori. It's Denise from New Orleans. How are you?
Hi, Denise, the Big Easy. How's it going? Yes. Everybody saw what's happening in New Orleans, so things are good?
Yes. I mean, we didn't parade this year, but we did our own thing. We decorated like floats.
New Orleans always does its own thing.
Exactly.
It's a fun place. Yes, nice to see you. Thanks for joining me.
I love watching you. I always follow you. I take notes. I'm trying to do your homework.
Well, I'm so glad that you're learning and you're enjoying it and you're having some fun watching the videos. I hope you'll share the videos. I need you all to share the videos. I want to get the word out to everybody, and you're going to help me all do it. And I'm going to help you find what's valuable. So I hope you'll share.
Most definitely.
Thank you, hon.
So I went to Goodwill. I have a new Goodwill next to me, and I purchased this set right here. And I'm hoping this might help you see it. It's marked JPT Paris, and it was a little kind of like demi-tasse set. Let me put it. It's got, eagles on it, eagle motifs, bumblebees, and it's got the full set. It was $4.99.
$4.99. What's the full set? When you say it's got the full set?
8 pieces of little cups and also the saucers.
4 cups, 4 saucers. That's what you've got.
8 cups, 8 saucers.
8 cups, 8 saucers. So you have nothing to pour, nothing that would hold whatever the liquid is to pour into the cups, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have the full set. I know, I'm just being, you know how I am. You got to get it right? Okay. So that's fine. They're really quite beautiful. They're porcelain. They're hand painted, they're hand gilded, they're hand detailed. And then time period, how old do you think they are?
I don't know, maybe like late 1800s, maybe.
Education doesn't have to be pretty. We just have to get you to the right answer. So just get rid of what it can't be. It can't be the 70s. It can't be the 1950s. It can't be the 1930s. It can't be the 1830s. It can't be the 1850s. It can't be the 1870s. So right where you were like late 19th, early 20th century, right where you were is right where they are. Right? Now, a couple of things that you're looking at where were they manufactured? You know that it's porcelain. No, it's Paris and not Limoges. That's an important tip. That puts you earlier, right? That puts you earlier in the period of 1870 to 1890 rather than later. Okay. So people are going, oh, why isn't it Limoges? Well, we typically see Limoges pieces a little bit later than that. Okay. Like yours, decorated like yours. That doesn't mean, don't all go crazy. Wait a minute, I have Limoges pieces and they're earlier than that. Yes, I know. But I'm talking about the pieces that look like yours. So how much did you pay for the set for 8?
$4.99.
Oh, $4.99. Yes, you said that. I'm sorry. I was so busy listening to you and listening to me that I forgot. Value on your set, 8 pieces. They're about $20 for each cup with the saucer, maybe even as high as 25. So 25 times 8. Now you got to do the math, get out the calculator. Times 8. Now, what I want you to do is wherever you got that particular piece, I want you to go back there and see whether or not you can find the other pieces. And what you're looking for is sugar bowl, creamer, waste bowl that'll look like a bowl just like it, right? And then, of course, the teapot.
Okay, fabulous.
They're not Demetasi. They're not Demetasi. Okay. You don't see a lot of Demetasi from that particular time period. And you notice that little loop, that top, and you'll notice where, of course, the eagle is, okay? That also is important because that particular element makes you, when you hold up the cup, that's the way you're going to actually drink it.
Okay.
That's important, too. It's very nice.
Not demi-tasse. What was it used? What they're just
of course, it has the decorative motif that you're typically going to see of course, the monarchs. Thanks so much for being with me.
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
Bye.
So, we think small and we think Demetase, right? We think, oh, it's small, so it has to be Demetase. It can't be possibly anything else. There are a lot of other things that were actually taken in small cups. And one of the things is, of course, chocolate. So chocolate is one of the things that we typically see in small cups. It's very prominent in the 1700s and into the 1800s versus Demetase, which is typically in a much even thinner cup, typically coming out of the southern part of Europe. This, of course, the northern part of Europe. Nice, very nice. So how or where would you sell wooden frames? You always say the value of a frame. Where would I sell a carved frame? Okay. Well, yeah, I always say the value of a frame. A frame is going to protect your painting. So a frame does a few things. It's valuable in and of itself. And a frame also is valuable for protecting your valuable artwork. I've told you all many, many times on my Real Bargains videos that, the big margins, the people who are making big money when they go to the thrift store are the ones who are getting the artwork. So I want you to think about that. But you can sell frames in any environment. Many, many people will, of course, buy frames. There are some people who only deal in frames, nothing in them, not even mirrors, not paintings, nothing in them, just a frame. And that's a very lucrative business in and of itself, marketing that you have the frames of a particular period. So you can sell them in all different places. I always say try to sell online so you can cut out the middleman, so you're not giving up a percentage of your money to, of course, somebody in the middle. So frames, all different places. Make sure you know the dates and make sure you like when they're from, the periods when they're from, and also make sure that you know, in fact, what type of materials are being used to make them. Even modern frames like Kulik frames can be valuable. Don't think it has to only be a carved wooden frame or a composition matter frame or a gessoed frame. Even some of the metal frames can be quite valuable. I always talk to you about artwork, and I talk to you about what's going to be valuable because I want you to succeed and I want you to know what's valuable, and I'm trying to help you as opposed to helping, of course, me, do better. I want you to do well. That's why I'm sharing my education, my world-class university education and information. But when you think about works of art, I want to talk to you in a minute after this guest about artwork. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. How are you? Thanks for joining me.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name and what question can I answer for you?
I'm Lana, and I have this.
It's a map wrapped around a bottle. So it's kind of like it's a map wrapped around a bottle, right, Lana?
Yes, it's leather though.
Can I see the underside? Well, this reminds me of 7th grade when they used to give us projects. They'd give you projects, things to do, and they'd give us masking tape and shoe polish. I don't know if any of you did this, but this was one of those crafty things they used to make us do in art class when they were like cutting the art budget. And you take masking tape around a wine bottle or a bulbous bottle, and you'd put the masking tape. And then after you put all the masking tape, then you would put shoe polish over it and let it dry, and it looked like leather. Well, you have the real thing. So those particular pieces usually date to the early to mid 1900s. You see them in the 1940s, 50s, 60s. You see them traditionally. They're that idea of basically that you've traveled the world, that you've enjoyed, of course, the great wines and the great spirits of the world kind of thing. Can I see that? So the bottom of your piece, and then that stopper, does it fit nice and tightly, that stopper? Make sure the stoppers are the same. Okay. So now that should tell you something right there. That type of stopper should tell you something about that piece. Is it the same? Is the stopper the same leather?
Yeah.
Okay. I think
actually it's wood.
Yeah. The stopper's not the same. The stopper was a later addition, although it fits. And the reason why it fits is because of the plastic on the inside. So they make sure those fit. So you don't have the original stopper. That's going to decrease value on your piece about $65, but it's cool.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So when I was talking about artwork, I want you to remember a couple of things. I try to walk you down the path so you learn how to identify what's quality, as opposed to, you're just looking at things and, I want to buy this because I think it's pretty. I want you to understand and start to identify quality. So one of the things that I've always been telling you, particularly on the Real Bargains videos, which are wildly popular because it's all about you guys and what you're finding, one of the things I want you to think about is I want you to think about artwork. So my premiere, of course, tomorrow night is about Real Bargains. And of course, it's about artwork. And I'm going to highlight what you look for when you are looking at prints, when you are looking at paintings, when you're looking at frames, when you are looking at everything from serigraphs to etchings to engravings, all different types of artwork, oil on canvas, acrylic on canvas, all watercolors, whatever it might be, all different media, right? All different media of art. So you can get those pieces low and then flip them, because those are the ones that have big margins. You ever watching any of these shows about business? They're all talking about what's the margin? Well, the margin is how much did you pay and how much can you make? So basically, that's what I'm going to show you. Tomorrow night, of course, it's Sundays at 5, the live premiere with me, and you'll see the new Dr. Lori video. Don't miss it. So, hi, Mick. Got my Dr. Lori t-shirt today. You're thrilled. Everyone needs one or two. Yeah. Oh, same color. Tote bag is next. Yes, there's a lot of merchandise that's available. Thank you very much for buying the merchandise. When you buy the merchandise from YouTube through the YouTube channel, you, of course, can go there and get that. You can also get those particular pieces of merchandise. They support the channel. So do your super chats and your super stickers. I'm glad that all of you love your t-shirts. I'm sure you'll look great in them. And thanks so much for supporting the channel. And when someone comes up to you and says, Dr. Lori says what? Make sure that you turn around and show them that I think you're priceless. We got another guest. Are you enjoying the guests? It's always fun to have the guests on, of course, on Ask Dr. Lori Live. Hi.
Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, and some of us resellers are trying to figure out how to get you to come down here to help us out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been all over the world many times helping out all different folks. And of course, I've been on the road for now. I'm going on 22 years of bringing the Antique Appraisal Comedy Tour all over the country and actually all over the world. So I'd be very happy to return to South Carolina. How can I help you?
I have an item that's been in my family as long as anybody knows. I believe it's some kind of horn or shell. On this side, it does have an engraving. It says FR period ALBIEN and then Nienendorf 1876. This part opens, so there's a little compartment
Yep.
Have no idea.
Okay, a couple of things that you're doing. First of all, are you related to that particular person? Have you checked your ancestry?
I think this is German. There's no Germans in my family.
So you don't know that this person is related to, great-great-grandpa or married to someone, or no, not in your family. So it's a family heirloom. You have no idea. That particular piece is done, in fact, out of a particular type of material. It is not a shell. That particular piece looks like it is a carved bone. So that particular piece could be any type of bone from an animal, like, it could be a walrus tusk, it could be another kind of natural element. It's a snuff box. That particular piece is for the storage of snuff. And if you don't know what snuff is, well, what you're holding in your hand is drug paraphernalia. Basically, what it is it's something to hold snuff, which was very, very popular in, of course, the late part of the 19th century. Value on your piece, about $125. If you can connect it to your family history, go do some ancestry research. If you can connect it to your family, you can increase value a little bit. Try to keep it in the family.
Thank you.
My pleasure. They're not difficult things. It's just that I've seen so many things for so many years in addition to my background. So people go, well, I've never seen one of these. And I asked everybody in my group and they've never seen any one of these. I know. Well, you may not have seen it and they may not have seen it. But, I've spent many, many years evaluating 20,000 objects a year for years and years. You go into one house and it's all of these, So there's lots to that, I have to say. But you have to really start to get familiar with some of these more unusual pieces. For those of you who are doing the super stickers, thank you very much. You are supporting the channel and you're helping everybody. So I know everybody wants to thank you for supporting the channel. Elizabeth, thank you. I think you're fabulous too. Thank you. You have 100 pieces of Lady Lillian China by Nagoya Shokai. I can't find any info about it. Help. What do I do? Help. Okay, couple things that you do. The first thing you do, send me a photo. It's very easy. You can do it through the website. And that's the easiest way for you to do it. And why? Not that I don't think you're correct in your description, but you may have something that is condition, may have an issue that will impact value. Maybe it's not hand painted. Maybe yours is reproduced. Maybe it's transferware. Maybe it's porcelain. Maybe it's bone china. Maybe it's one of the earlier patterns. Maybe it's one of the younger patterns. It depends. So I have to see it in order to help you. And then you go, well, Dr. Laura, you'll just know. I will just know, but I need to see it because while you can have it all correct, you can also not give me all the information that I need. And they go, oh, you need more information. Usually I need something like that. So it's very easy to submit a picture. People do it all the time. April, thank you for your very impressive and kind super sticker. I appreciate that. I hope that means that these videos have been helpful to you, have helped you to understand this more, have helped you make some more money either in your reselling or have helped you find beautiful things that you love to have in your home for yourself. Good for you. Thank you. Hi, Mick. Thank you very much for the super chat. Murano glass statue or kids rocking chair. Which should I ask for you to appraise Dr. Lori next? I don't care. I don't care at all. Show me whatever you want to show me. I'll happily appraise those pieces. I always like to appraise something that you're interested in. People say, well, Dr. Laura, I don't know what to pick. Pick anything. Whatever you're more interested in, that's what I'm interested in seeing. Melanie, thank you very much for another super sticker. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate those of you who tune in, for those of you who share, for those of you who, hit the community tab and subscribe. So it's good to be with all of you, and I appreciate that. But show me the picture. You'd be surprised at what the visual could do. Dr. Lori would have crushed it on that old show, Liars Club. Oh, gosh, I did Liars Club for a million years. I used to do Liars Club a lot, and it's so funny because people would oftentimes, people would always think that I was, of course, giving you all of the information. So, yeah, we've played Liars Club, and a lot of places when I worked with of course, the travel industry. And also I used to play it in my classrooms because it was a good way for students to start to understand how to do research properly. And the one way you have to do research properly, there's one thing you have to do when you're researching. All of you are researching, you're trying to find things, you have to read. You have to read. You have to actually read. And people go, well, what does that mean? It sounds so simple. It's not that simple. Read what is put in front of you. If it's an email from me, read it. Read all of it. Don't make an assumption before you read the whole thing. Lynn, thank you for the super sticker. It's good to have you with me. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that so many of you are enjoying Ask Dr. Lori Live. Betty Boop, please talk about enameled shaving trays from pre-1900. Gift to Grandpa from Sweden, neighbor on his first marriage. How many marriages did he have? Just his first one. I just wonder. Anyway, so a couple of things, I'm going to need to see it. And people will say, oh, okay, you need to see it because there are different types of these trays. The fact that it is marked with some kind of Swedish symbol. Do you have a Swedish symbol? Is it sterling silver? Is it using, of course, the Swedish process numbers for sterling? So those are some of the questions I would have. Enameled pieces are typically much more popular after 1900 than before 1900. Usually they're from the 1900 to 1910 era rather than prior to that. So I want to make sure that you have your dates right. So send a picture. It's very easy to do. And here comes another guest. You can do it right through our website. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? My name is David. I'm from Tennessee, and I've started moving into hard goods reselling because of your channel. So I found a piece.
Let me ask you something before you get too far away from us, David. So you're starting to get into hard goods. What did you sell before you found the Dr. Lori channel?
Just clothing. I just did clothing, and I did decent with it, but there's more opportunity.
Okay, so when you figured, everybody can sell clothing, they look at the label, if it's new, if they still have the tags, it's better, these kinds of things that we know about clothing, right? And then let's look into some other things. You might have some opportunities with things like what you held up, which looked like a piece of stoneware pottery.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So I found it, and I don't know what it is, but it looks neat. And I was just seeing if you would have any idea. The only thing that I can really find about it is it's a yokai or something or another. There is a seam, and the glaze is on the inside as well. But that's all I really know about it.
Okay, hold up that bottom for me. Hold up that bottom for me and for everybody else. I want you to see the concentric circles, okay? So I want you to notice a couple of things. You're going to say, there's no mark, Dr. Lori, what do I do? Okay, I want you to look at how it's built. Notice the thickness, okay, of that first circle or the band that's around the outside, okay?
Sure.
That thickness indicates that they know where they're going with this. They know that this is what to look for, right? This is what I try to teach you. So if I'm not there over your shoulder, you can do this yourself. So basically that nice thick area all the way around and that interior glaze, they know they're going to build something up pretty big, dense, heavy, strong. That's what you're basically looking at. That particular piece, when you looked at it, David, did you have any idea of a date when it could have been made?
I did not.
Nothing at all. You said, I have no idea if it's from 1300 or if it's from 1000 AD or from when Christ was on this planet. When do you
I was thinking maybe 1950s.
1950s.
Just as a guess.
Okay, that's a good guess. I would put it sometime between 1940 and 1960 as well. So 1950s right up the middle. I like it. Now, is it hand built? You talked about a seam.
There's a seam, so no. Right?
Molded. Okay,
yes.
So it's not hand built and then sculpted. It's molded, probably in two parts. Then they go back in and they do the decoration. And then all of the money or all of the labor or all of the time that they're taking actually has to do with making the glaze and making sure the glaze looked cool. That's what you thought looked cool. Wasn't really so much, a little bit of that, the element, but actually they molded it on two sides. What do you think the value is because they didn't hand build it? So value goes from here if they did hand build it to here because they didn't.
I would guess $50. What do you think?
Worth $85.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. I want you on the path. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be on the right path. And that's what I'm going to show you. Then we can start to drill down and get you the nuances of knowing what's what. How much did you pay for it? Well, I got you, David.
$3.99.
You're going to do fine.
You'll do so
fine
much
with this. Don't worry. Look for art too. But because what happens, thank you, David. What happens with a lot of the ceramics is, in fact, everybody is looking for that mark, as if the mark is the Holy Grail. The mark is not the Holy Grail. The signature is not the Holy Grail. It's a great thing. It's going to help, but it's not the only thing. And experts like me at my level don't only rely on that. So I don't want you to use that as a crutch. You can do this. I'm going to show you how. And a lot of you have already been successful at it, which makes me happy too. Yeah, it's the experts' answers to your questions. I'm happy to take your questions, and thank you for the super chat. I have a 62-inch tall hand-carved wooden butler signed by Robert DeLong. Nice, very good condition. What's it worth and where can I sell it? Okay, so here's the thing about where can I sell it? Where can I sell it? I want to sell it. I want to go right now. Here's what happens. First of all, that piece at 62 inches tall is going to be anywhere between $400 and $600. All right. Could you get a little bit more for it? It will depend on the market and what's happening in the market at that time. That's first. Second, the other thing I want you to think about, in fact, is where do I sell it? Any appraiser who says, go over to this guy, that guy is going to give you a good deal, is probably in cahoots with that guy, whoever he is. Okay. That's first. Second of all, there's not only one good place to sell it. So you have to analyze the market, which is what a lot of you are doing incorrectly. A lot of you are just like, okay, I'm going to sell this where I sell everything else. You don't sell, the pottery in the same place where you sell the artwork, in the same place where you sell the jewelry, in the same place where you sell the neckties, in the same place where you sell the vintage, Manolo Blahnik shoes. So you have to understand where the market is for an object like that. The other thing you have to think about is shipping and what that cost is going to be. What kind of conditions are you putting your object in if you have to ship something large? Thank you very much for the super stickers and the super chats. I appreciate them. So if you're doing that, you have to think about that. So think about, maybe this is better for me at 62 inches for me to try to connect with my best buyer locally. Okay. So think about those other costs that are going to be factored in. Thanks for a good question. And thanks again for the super sticker. I appreciate that as well. And all of them help support the channel. Yes to reading. Thanks for all you do, Dr. Lori. Carmen, thank you very much. Thanks for being part of it. I want you guys just to read it. Read it twice. Who cares if you need to take another minute? What is the rush? Because you're really going to get that information. And if you have a question, I am here. Ask Dr. Lori live. That's why I ask. Just ask. I don't care. No question is silly. No question is, oh, I don't know. Every question is good. Just ask. That's why I'm doing it. Hello, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Lori, Mary C. here.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm good.
Nice to see you.
Talk me off a ledge. I did a big purchase.
Oh, I'm going to talk you off a ledge. Okay, how big is big?
Oh, $360.
Okay, so that's
it's
a lot.
Monteros 970.
Okay. What made you buy it? Why did you spend so much? You're sounding like it's a lot for you. Why did you?
It is a lot for me. I'm the $20 queen.
That's okay. So you decided, I'm going for this.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Because it was beautiful, and I did a quick look up, and I saw really nice prices on it. So
okay. Did you see
with a pair of earrings?
Did you see completed? Did you see authenticated sales records, or did you see listings at these big prices?
I saw sold records.
Okay.
I saw two sold records, and they were in the five. One was 5, and one was like 630.
Okay.
So I thought, well, we'll see.
For a similar piece?
Yes.
What about gram weight?
24 grams with the earrings, with the 2 earrings. It's very heavy.
Okay.
And it's lapis lazuli.
Lapis lazuli.
Lazuli.
That's okay. Lapis lazuli has been a very important, of course, stone for a long, long time. Actually, in the Renaissance, it was lapis lazuli that would be crushed down in order to make the paint that they would use to make the mantle of the Virgin Mary, and only that paint could be used in the Renaissance. So lapis is seen as a wonderful and a very important traditional historical object. That particular piece. So what I want to see the object, darling.
Okay.
Let's see the object. So you've got this choker style necklace.
And the wire broke when I was taking pictures of it, so I've got to get it restrung now. I'm
so now already I'm thinking, okay, what happened? So now I'm thinking you might have paid too much.
Yeah, I'm starting to have that feeling.
I know. So and you only found 2 sales records. So in analyzing the market, you found 2 sales records and you went with it. Now, understandably, you might have a situation where it's, hey, look, I got to jump while I can. I might lose it if I don't do it, if you're bidding online or something like that. That's all understandable. But only 2 sales records. You didn't see it consistent in the market, right? And then remember, then you have to also say, where in the market? Where was this? Like, where did it sell?
I actually saw it on eBay, and I think the other one was Etsy.
Okay. So what I mean by that is where in the world?
Oh, where in the world?
So where in the world
Okay.
did it sell? Did it sell in a place like, I don't know, West Palm Beach versus, I don't know, Muncie? You know, that's kind of thing. So let's think about where it sold and see that. And some of that information you may not be able to get, but only 2 comparable sales records. I would say value on your piece is probably just about $450, not with the earrings. That's just the choker. And then I would say another $100 to $125 for the earrings alone. I would separate them. People are saying, really, you're going to separate them? I'm going to separate that set, and here's why. That particular set would have an interest without it being a set. Some pieces need to have the set. Some pieces are nice pieces, but they really need to be pushed forward in terms of market analysis by having the set and keeping the sets intact. Your particular piece doesn't necessarily need that. It would be great if you want to sell it together, but I don't think you can pump up the value up into the 700 range just to have the earrings and the necklace.
I do have provenance, though. It belonged to an African-American supermodel. I met her son. And so I was able to talk to him, which was really cool.
Okay, so that may increase value, right? So that may increase value on the actual piece as well, as long as you can utilize that. Now you want to make sure that you're in that particular market where other people are going to say, oh, I have to have her thing, you know? So you have to think about that. Thanks so much, Mary. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Sure. So remember, things like provenance are going to be important, but they're not the only thing. So with an object like that, once I heard that it's broken, now we've got a little bit of an issue. So I wonder whether or not it was broken prior to it being sold. But if she thinks that she can have it professionally repaired, that shouldn't be a problem. But again, you're going to have to invest that money to get it professionally repaired. So now you're out a little bit of the money that you put in that you were trying to recoup when you resell it, but still good. Jewelry is always a good thing. Lori, thank you so much for being a supporter of the channel. All of you subscribers and all of you viewers, I appreciate all of you with the super chats and the super stickers and subscribing. So thank you for subscribing. It's easy to subscribe. And I hope you will do that on YouTube as you subscribe on YouTube. At the Dr. Lori V channel. My husband passed away. I am sorry. It's very difficult to lose loved ones. Whoever it is, I'm sorry. Left me with 90 pieces of gold, framed lithograph art, signed artists Chagall and Dali. He bought them at auction. Are they worth valuing? Yes, of course. Yeah, all of it needs to have an evaluation. You can send a photograph for my review to the website. Very, very simple to do. Send a photo. Make sure you give me dimensions, and I will take a review of them. And I'll get back in touch with you about that. But yes, they're worth valuing. You're going to need to know what you've got. You're going to need to know that. And of course, if this is something that was left to you that needs to be done for estate purposes or just for your own information, you're going to need to do that as well. You don't want to just say, oh, I have no idea, and then make a bad decision. You know, you'll be kicking yourself. So sure, I can help you with all of those. We've got a guest. Isn't this fun? Hi. How are you? I'm Dr. Lori, the Ph.D. Antiques Appraiser. What question can I answer for you tonight?
Yeah, I have 2 questions today.
Okay.
I talked to you last live about a brooch that I bought. That is pearl and gold.
Okay.
And my question is, how do I maintain such a piece? Because I read that you can put olive oil on like pearl necklace, but this one is in gold. I was wondering, how can I clean it or maintain it?
Cleaning pearls is not the same as cleaning gold. So when you have a piece that you have gold, you have pearls which are inset into a gold setting, you have to be very careful. I would never suggest that you put olive oil on pearls. There's a lot of these I hate to call them old wives' tales, but there's a lot of these sort of silly, crazy acid test and do this and do that, that can damage your pieces. So when you say you want to maintain them, the first thing that you want to make sure that you do is that you try to, in fact, maintain the integrity of the metal. The metal is quite strong and the pearls are quite fragile. So those seed pearls, the first thing, a white cotton Q-tip. And remember, I am not a professional restorer. So I would not give you advice as to how to restore this, how to restore that. But when you're trying to just keep something clean, the first thing you need to do is to have a jewelry box that you store it in, like this one, that has separate compartments. Yes. And I want to show you the separate compartments. You can see all the separate compartments here. Okay. That's very important for maintaining your piece. And this particular jewelry box it's my recommended jewelry box that you could purchase, of course, through our shopping, drloriv.com/shopping. It's a very easy, it's right there. Here's an example of reading. It's right there where you can find it. Go to the shopping page and you can get it. Having that half moon piece, because it will catch on to other pieces of jewelry, having it in a separated compartmentalized jewelry box is going to be important first. Secondly, if you see that it's dirty or you think it's dirty around the actual pearls, so you've got the gold around the pearls, a white cotton Q-tip, very carefully dry. Don't put anything on it. Do not put water near pearls. I'm going to say it again. Do not put water near pearls. Try to go in there and just try to get any of the dirt away from, of course, the gold. The gold is strong, probably would be fine. I would not suggest that you use and do not use regular jewelry cleaner. You have jewelry cleaner, you can submerge your jewelry and it'll be clean. Don't do that because of the pearl. If you want to have it cleaned professionally, bring it to a GIA certified jeweler and have them do it. Odds are you don't need to clean it at all.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
And so
the first thing I would do is of course, just that overview with the Q-tip, the cotton swab. I should call it cotton swab.
Yeah.
Q-tip is a brand name. Yeah. But basically that's what I would do. Well, thanks so much for your question.
And I have a second thing I want to show you. Oh.
Well, you're back. You're not back. Anyway, so when you're thinking about, of course, jewelry, you want to be careful with respect to this. So thank you very much, Maureen, and thank you for watching. I'm guessing this is New Zealand, so thank you for watching from New Zealand and all of our friends all over the world. It's wonderful to have such a diverse and lovely community. I loved New Zealand very much when I was there. I had a wonderful time there a few years ago when I got to travel throughout all of New Zealand. Very, very sweet people. And I enjoyed my time in Australia too. All of the Pacific, I had fun. Mary, thank you very much for the super sticker as well. All of you, I appreciate it. You are supporting the channel that's going to help you to succeed, make money, start a new career, enhance your old career, change the way David was changing course. So thanks so much for the super chats and the super stickers. It really is helpful, and it creates things like the Dr. Lori Cam, which has become very, very popular. And as well, it allows me to do more videos that will help you. I love these opportunities when I get to answer your questions, and I appreciate all of you taking the time to, of course, subscribe and be part of the community. So thank you very much for that. So if you have all different types of pieces, here's another guest. I will be able to, with my background and expertise, unlike others, I'll be able to, of course, discuss different pieces. So the diversity of this is what's fun. You can learn about all different types of pieces rather than just here's another piece of glass, here's another piece of ceramic. Hi, how are you? I'm Dr. Lori.
Hi, Dr. Lori. I'm Pam from Michigan.
Hi, Pam. How are you?
Doing good. Cold.
All right. Are you near Ann Arbor where I went to school?
I'm quite a ways away from there.
Okay, that's all right. It's cold throughout Michigan, right? It's warm throughout Michigan. Well, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I have 2 necklaces that I bought at auction.
Okay.
And I'd like to.
Do they relate?
Pardon?
Do they relate? Are they a set?
No, they are not.
Okay, then let's choose one.
Okay.
We'll give everybody a chance.
Let's do this one.
Okay. You bought them at auction. Did you get a bargain? If you buy at auction, you're probably going to get a bargain. If you sell at auction, you're probably not. Oh, Dr. Lori, really? Yeah. So remember, auctions are, of course, trying to get rid of the volume. So if you work within that context, you're probably going to get a bargain if you're buying at auction. So you bought at auction. What made you buy it?
I liked how well it looked, how well made it looked, and I recognized.
Looks like it was labor intensive, right?
Yes,
Looks like it was, okay, all right, a lot of labor put into it.
And I recognized the signature on the back.
Okay, so you went by brand name.
Yes, that and what attracted me to it the most first was the look of it, how well it was made.
Okay, so what do you know about the materials, and then we'll get to your brand name.
It's sterling silver and copper.
Is it marked sterling silver? Are you sure it's copper, and you're sure it's not rose gold?
No, I'm not positive that it's copper. It sure does look like it.
Because guess what? Copper's down here and rose gold's up here. You're like, well, I don't know.
It has the Mexican eagle on the back.
Okay. So you said, all right, I recognize this as being a piece that is indicative of the 1950s, 1960s, made in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you purchased it. Did you get a bargain?
I think I did. Yeah. Okay. I paid $77 for it, including the buyer's premium.
Okay, including the buyer's premium. How much was the buyer's premium? 25%, 40%?
This was a smaller auction house, so if I remember, it was about 15%.
Okay, so it was 15%. So they're selling you a piece, and because of the option, the opportunity for you to be able to buy this from them, they're making you pay another 15% over the cost of it, or the fee for it. Okay, so total with the buyer's premium, it was $75 or whatever you said?
77, yeah.
77, I apologize. Okay, so the first thing you did right was, yes, it's copper. The second thing you said, okay, now you identified it as sterling, or 925 parts per thousand from Mexico. Does it say 925 on it? Mexican silver is different. It may not be sterling based on the sterling standard, the English sterling standard.
It just has, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It just has the Mexican eagle on it.
Okay, so it has the Mexican eagle, but you're saying it's sterling silver, and you don't have a mark for sterling silver, correct? No.
No, I don't think there is one.
So it's silver. It's probably 800 parts per 1,000 parts pure silver. It's still good. It's copper, made in Mexico, middle part of the 20th century, value on it about $200. You still did well, but remember, don't assume that it is sterling silver if you don't see the information, whether that's the actual sterling mark or stamp, or if you start to learn what sterling silver smells like, because it has a distinctive smell too.
There was a similar necklace by the same maker that sold at auction about 2 weeks ago with matching earrings for $2,000.
Yours is worth about $200 from what I'm looking at here. So
okay. Even with even though it's a Hector Aguilar.
Yes, the mark is wonderful. That's fine. But again, you don't have any of the other information about that piece, and you only have one piece that you're comparing it with. That is not a good indicator of the whole market and what's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. Especially the market right now. So you have to be aware of what's the market doing right now for this. Are people buying those luxury goods right now like that? Is that a good indicator of how they really sell? That's the next thing. Is your piece similar? Is your piece actually similar in quality, in materials, in workmanship? Just because it's made by the same maker or designer does not mean that it's worth what the other one was worth. You don't know anything about provenance of that one. You don't know anything about whether or not that piece has been on display in, of course, museums or galleries. Your particular piece comes out of an auction, and while it's a good piece for $77, you did very well. Typically, with the copper included in it, brings the value down. You're probably about $200, $250, in my opinion. Thank you. So these are some of the things I want you to think about. You know, you see something online, and you've seen it. You've all seen it. You go online, you search for something. Say it's the cookie jar. You search for something, and you see, oh, one sold for $30. Oh, one sold for $300. Oh, one sold for $70. Oh, one sold for $150. They're all different prices for all different types of pieces, right? And they're all a little bit different, but they're all made by the same manufacturer. How do you analyze the market? So you can't just go, oh, that one's 2,000, so mine's going to be 2,000 as well. So the mark for sterling is what she's missing. Hi, Rhonda. How can you tell if you have an original painting versus a raised cardboard print without taking the backing off the piece? Okay, this is educate your eyeballs, Rhonda. This is not difficult. Thank you for the super chat. Couple of things you have to look for. First of all, So those are called oleographs, what you're talking about, this idea that you have a texturized piece. So it's trying to look like an original or simulate an original oil on canvas painting. But in fact, oil on canvas is very easy to recognize. And basically what you're seeing is you're seeing the texture of the pigment. Now, some of the pieces and some artists, depending on the artist whose work you're looking at, some artists, of course, have it very, very close, very like a close shave, if you will. They paint very, very close to the canvas. So they're not having the glops and the texture and basically the pigment that you can actually touch and feel. It's very close to the actual canvas. So as you look at them more and more, that's one of the ways you can do it. Another thing that I want you to do is get the loop. And people go, oh, I know. The loop is going to help you. And that, of course, is the loop, which is a 10-time or 30-time magnification, depending on which one you look through. And the loop is available on the shopping. Of course, drloriv.com. Right there is the link, drloriv.com/shopping. And you'll see it in the treasure hunt toolkit right there on the website. Click on that, open it up, and you will see it. And you'll click on the picture of the loop, and that will take you to the page where you can purchase the loop. And yes, that is all the way it's done. It takes you to the page where you can click on and get the loop. Why? Because as you look through that, you are not going to see a dot pattern. You're going to see the strokes. You're going to see the pigment. You're going to see, what it looks like, very similar to what it would look, what actual paint will look like if you're ever painting, a bedroom wall. You're going to see the pigment. And I want you to do that. I want you to understand what to look for. Because once you understand what to look for, you will never be fooled, right? So I want you to look for that. And if you're looking at a piece, for example, that's an oleograph, and you think it might be a fake, I want you to follow the brush stroke. So when an oleograph, it's a print onto a piece of canvas, and then they take Dagmar varnish or light clear nail polish, and they go over the thing. So say there's a picture of a woman with a head like my head with a hat. Well, the Dagmar varnish or that clear coat basically goes straight over. It doesn't make the hat like a brush stroke would. It doesn't make a round face. It just goes straight across. Because all they do is they kind of like put, as if you're putting polyurethane over a stained piece of wood. They just go back and forth. So they don't actually follow the forms of the face, the forms of the collar, the forms of the hat, if it's a portrait. So think about that. Look for and try to follow the actual brushwork. If you can't follow the brushwork and you start to see, oh, wait a minute, that looks like a clear coat going over here when the brushstroke's going down here, you have an oleograph. So not difficult to do if you have the loop. And a lot of you have had the loop and got the loop and said, gee, Dr. Lori, it's a brave new world now that I have the loop. I can see it. I understand it. I know what you're talking about. Is there a tester for colored gemstones, amethyst, blue, topaz? Yes, I offer my recommendations on a tester also on the shopping page, drloriv.com/shopping. Yes, we also have a diamond tester. That one's here. But what I want you to do is I want you to be aware, because there are going to be, Tom's daughter saying the loop is great. She got the loop and it helped. How peridot will test the same or similar to amethyst. You'll also see the way a synthetic sapphire might test differently than another one. So you start to learn with the testers. You work with the testers, and then you actually will start to become more familiar. And as you get more familiar, you're going to educate yourself and get empowered. And that's why I'm doing this. I want you empowered. You can do this. You can change everything, the things that you don't like, you want to contribute to the family financially, or you just want beautiful things to live within your home. You can do this. Follow the channel. The Binge Link is what you need. Hi, here's a guest. How are you? I'm Dr. Lori.
Hello, I'm great. Thank you for picking on me. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you too.
Want to see my thing?
I'm going to wear those myself. What's your first name?
My name is Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. How can I help you tonight?
Okay, I've got this little, what I believe is a perfume lamp, and I think it's really cute. I believe he has glass eyes. There is a mark, which I think is Arno Appel, but I heard there's a lot of fake ones, and I've had him for a few years. I got it at Goodwill for $3, but I'm ready to let him go, and the prices online are all over the place. So I need your help.
What I was just saying, they're all over the place, right? So then you go, but I think mine is worth the highest, that, right? Because everybody, that's human nature, right? Mine has to be worth what the highest ones are. So what makes yours look like the ones that are selling so high?
I don't really know that it does. Like, I think this is kind of a cuter design than most of the ones I've actually seen that were sold. However,
okay, so
like I said, they're so all over the place.
But can they
Can
be
I be wrong? Yeah.
No.
Oh,
this
of course.
The problem. You always think you're wrong. Why can't they be wrong? This is what I mean.
I do think they can be wrong.
Okay. All right. Good. Because they can be wrong in a lot of ways. You're thinking mine looks better. It looks like it's better quality. It looks like it's a better glaze. Looks like the design is better, right? I will say that there are a couple things that I like about yours and a couple things I don't like about yours. First, rarity of the form. You don't see these every day. This is not your run-of-the-mill object that comes up all the time. You've had it for a while, right? I will say that while it's not run-of-the-mill, I will say that it's better quality. Now you have to fight against the people who have put up something that is not as good and have been successful at selling it to people who are uninformed, thinking that it's good. So now what do you do? Because it doesn't look alike and everybody's copying. You've seen this. They're copying SEO keywords. They're copying all kinds of stuff with this. Your particular piece has a market value just about $210, $225. Have you seen them much higher than that?
Yes, and much lower. Yes, and much lower. And I was thinking maybe about 75. So that's a great, thank you.
No, yours is not 75. And the reason why yours is not 75 has to do with the execution of the medium or the object, how it's molded, how it's made, how it's designed, how it's decorated, how it's glazed. The other thing that people will say is they'll say, well, wait a minute, will the market bear that right now? So that's the next question that you have to have for yourself. Will the market actually say, everybody is basically looking and, oh, I have to have that. Right now, the market is really doing very well at household items that are functional, items that can be used and reused, and repurposed, items that can also be repurposed. So I'm seeing where the ceramics and these pieces that are more decorative design, not so high. So the people who are saying that they sold them really high, I don't know if they're even selling, of course, an object as good as yours. And I do think that some of the buyers are probably sales that happened at least 6 to 8 months ago. Okay. When it was sold is also important. Okay. Thanks so much. You were able to let me highlight a very important point about the resale market. So when you learn about those types of things. So she's seeing high and she's seeing low and she doesn't know. Well, a lot of folks will actually say, thank you, Elizabeth, for the super sticker. Thank you for supporting the channel and for supporting me and what I do. I appreciate it. A lot of you have said, Dr. Lori, when I don't know something, I put a really high price on it until I finish the research. And then I finish the research or I go to you and then I change the price. So you might be seeing things like that. Somebody who said, oh, you know what? I'm just going to put a big number on it so I don't get myself into trouble. You've seen this. So you want to think about that too when you're looking at these particular sales prices, right? Or list values and saying, wow, is that what they really sold for? So you have to really take some things with a grain of salt. And I'll tell you, it takes an awfully long time to do what I do in analyzing the market for all of these different things. You all know that. In addition to sourcing and finding these pieces and shopping and buying these pieces, you then have to list them. You then have to make sure they're clean. You then have to make sure that you're ready to ship them. It's an awful lot of work. It's very time consuming. For you to look at all of these different aspects of the market and analyze the market, people are going, oh, I don't have time to do that. It's just enough for me to get my listings up and pack and make sure that I'm reselling things and deal with my customers' questions and all of this. So you want to think about that. So you're in my class right now. You'll be in more of my classes next week. I'm happy that you're with me. Thanks so much for doing that. I call all of these kind of classes, but they're fun. They're a lot of fun. So thanks for being part of the channel. And thank you too for, of course, participating in all of the different events that I have. And thanks for the guests tonight for being part of this experience at Ask Dr. Lori Live. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Dr. Lori?
I'm good, darling. What's happening?
Thanks for having me on the show. I just got this today at Goodwill. It's Marie Charlot. So I'm gonna show you.
Well, that's nice.
Okay, I don't know if you can see the signature.
I don't care about the signature. Show me the back.
Okay, I'll show you the back. It's an 8x10.
Yeah. All right. What don't I like about the back?
The staples.
I don't like the staples. What else don't I like? White
I don't know.
white canvas, very white canvas. So I think that the original has been actually stapled onto another canvas. It's called relined. Okay.
Okay.
I do think you have the real thing though. So how much did you pay?
125. $5.
$5? Good for you. It's worth $150. Good for you.
Okay.
I'm happy for you. Keep shopping. It's out there and keep watching the channel.
Excellent. Thank you.
Bye, darling. Yeah.
Bye.
So a couple of things, when I say, what don't I like? Everybody goes, oh no, Dr. Lori doesn't like it. I don't dislike it. I want you to be aware. I want you to look the way I look. I want you to have, the critical eye. That's what I want you to have. And that's what I'm trying to teach you in all of these videos. So if you didn't use the Binge Link, get the Binge Link. It's very simple. It's right in the description of the YouTube channel. So please use the Binge Link and binge. That's right, binge watch. I want you to do that because you're going to get all different things. You're going to learn things. And people always say, Dr. Lori, I have you on in the background. I'm watching you all the time. I enjoy it. It's so much fun. I'm learning stuff and it's all different stuff because when you're in a thrift store, when you're at a yard sale, when you're in grandma's attic, you're not only going to find one type of thing, where they only show you about one type of thing over and over. All different things is what they show. Oh, Rolando, let's see. I have a small ceramic jug from Italy. Good. I think I understand the Torsivia e Tordovia Sundra. Okay, Todaro signature. But it also has an S Stefano C below the signature. Okay, so what you're looking at is you're looking at the different signatures. You're looking at also the different places. And sometimes it's marked also by the, I'll use the umbrella term. It's a designer underneath a particular field, right? So the designer is this particular person and that name gets signed and also working under the umbrella of a bigger firm. So that's basically what you're looking at. That's a nice piece. Italian ceramics, Majolica, Italian ceramics, of course, that reference and look back to reproduce pieces that look like, of course, they come from the Roman world, all different types of Mediterranean pieces that you will like from, of course, the Southern Mediterranean or Southern Europe, like Spain, Portugal, Italy. Those pieces usually hold their value pretty well, and they usually have a nice design, pretty theatrical and dramatic like the Italians. So nice. And we've got a guest. I want to thank my staff for keeping us going here and hosting our guests. Thank you very much for all that you do. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
We're good.
Good. What's happening? What have we got? Looks like a lamp. Smells like a lamp. Might be a lamp.
Well, I don't know. That's why we're on with you to ask you what in the heck this thing is.
Okay, so how did you acquire it?
It was a birthday gift. I saw it at an antique store. My mom bought it.
Okay, so your mom likes flat glass with inset jewels, right? And it looks like that piece is early 20th century. And what's in the inside? Can I see the inside or can I see the underside?
Yes, we have a light in it. Let me change that. Here we go.
So a couple of things I'm looking at and I'm seeing what to look for. First of all, the leading. The leading is that area that holds all those little areas that hold together all those pieces of slag glass or the paned glass. Those cabochons or those carved pieces of glass are called jewels and they are inset. And it's sort of like a spider web pattern. Well, if you look at the web areas, you want that leading to be nice and thin, nice and very, very thin. You don't want it to be bulbous. You don't want it to be kind of muddy. You want it to be nice and thin. So that will indicate value. So does it hang? That's the way it's supposed to hang. Oh,
that's what I thought.
What's happening is you had your piece down, but there was another plate right there at the bottom. In that circular area of the bottom, there was another plate, and from that plate, it would hang right on a chain, and it would actually hang downward the way you had. There you go. So that's how the way it's supposed to look. Now, I want you to look at what's called a biomorphic form, sort of a curve, like the curve of a woman's body, right? From in here down to the hips. That biomorphic form indicates that the piece has to date in the early years of the 20th century, between about 1907 and 1920, in what's called the Art Nouveau style. Time period for this piece is early 20th century. It looks like it's missing some components. I would say value on it, missing components, anywhere between $175 and $250. And of course, you've got to get that top portion and then the part that it hangs for. Did she buy it like that without anything that would hang it, or did you just take it apart?
No, we just bought it like this.
Yeah.
It's extremely heavy though. I mean, it's really hard to see how that it would hang. I mean, it's really, really heavy.
Well, they're all really heavy. I mean, the Tiffany lamps are really heavy. They're all really heavy. It's going to hang from a pretty large piece at the top, and then it's going to hang on a chain, and then it's going to have another support in the ceiling. You know, so yeah.
What do you think hung from the hooks on the bottom?
What do I think hung from the hooks on the bottom? I think what hung from the hooks on the bottom actually was there are these pieces that are in the Moroccan style of either large, like loop elements of more stained glass, or you can actually have a fringe, and you'd see that too. What hangs from those hoops is going to be sort of like a round textile type of woven piece, and then some fringe down from it. If you look up Moroccan lamps of the exoticism period, which is when this is from, you're going to find a similar type of lamp. But you're missing the whole top piece that's going to connect it up. Thanks, ladies.
Very good. Thank you.
My pleasure. So, you know, people get concerned about weight, but, you know, if you don't have all of the pieces, then yeah, you should be concerned about that. But it seems like they purchased it and then they didn't get that one particular part. And then once you start to reorient it, like once you start to use it as a vase when it's supposed to be a hanging lamp, you're going to damage the piece. Now, maybe that's not what they were doing, but you're going to damage the piece long term. You know, objects are meant to be used as they are intended when they're made. So when you start to reuse it a different way, you have to be careful that you don't damage the slag glass or the leading and you put undue stress on the piece. So that was a nice one too. Hi, let's see. We love your show and your knowledge. Any information on an original Rudyard Kipling poem, if copyrighted 1910 Doubleday Page and Company publisher. So you have a 1910, you know it's Doubleday published it. And do you have the strong spine on the publication? Do you have also a decorated cover? What color is the decorated cover? I also need to know, in fact, if it is signed or printed by the author anywhere, whether it's an actual pen signed, ink signed, or if it's a print. Many of them are, you know, a lot of you will send me books and say, oh, it's signed by the author, but actually that's a printed thing that the publisher does. And of course, how did you acquire it? What's the provenance? So send me a picture and I'll be able to tell you. There's a lot more criteria information that I need to know, but thank you very much for supporting the channel. Do you value antique micro mosaic jewelry? Yes, I have a gorgeous gold and very intricate inlaid stone brooch scarab figure, no test marks, 18K. Yeah, sure, I can appraise that. Yeah, that's no problem. But I have to see a picture. And of course, the photos you can send to the website, right? Not difficult. And I can take a look at it and give you the information and my opinion on it. Yeah. A lot of things that I like you to see with respect to Ask Dr. Lori Live. I like you to have an opportunity to know what's what. Like that particular micro mosaic pieces can be, you know, as low as the $350 range and as high as the $3,000 range. So seeing a picture really means something. So this is Ask Dr. Lori Live. I appreciate you being with me so I can field your questions and give you my expert answers. I'm very grateful for those of you who join me, of course, during my other, of course, live sessions, and also, of course, in this live session. And tomorrow night, Sundays at 5 p.m., I do the live premiere of this week's video, and this week's video is your favorite. It's the popular Real Bargains. And Real Bargains, of course, we're going to highlight some works of art that you found, whether it's artwork or collectibles, or of course, antiques, vintage furniture, ceramics, glassware, jewelry, all different things in Real Bargains. And I will show you how to identify and how to then reap the rewards of finding those bargains at thrift stores, antique shops, estate sales, and other places. So when you're looking at objects, I want you to take a look and try to identify the quality of those objects. I want you to think about, of course, what you're looking at and how it fits into your collection as well. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. What's your name?
Hey, Dr. Lori, Mylene. My name's Mylene. You're a
Hi,
rock
Mylene.
star. I
Nice
watch
to
you all
see
the
you.
time.
Well, thank you so much for watching, and thanks for being a guest tonight.
Well, thank you. Don't look at my bestie bedroom.
No, I'm not looking at your messy bedroom. Don't look at my messy studio.
I picked
How
this
can I
up
help?
I picked this up at Goodwill, and it's really heavy leaded, I guess, glass.
Okay, so is it lead crystal? If it's leaded, it's crystal. It has to have 24% or more lead content. That's why it's heavy.
Okay, it's pretty heavy. I just
so-
don't know the.
So to define crystal, it has to be 24% or more lead content in the glass.
Okay.
Okay, simple. So that's why it's heavy. It's nice and clear, right? If you've been watching my videos, I give you what to look for. And I tell you what to look for. And this is important because other people don't do that. They go, oh, it's this, and it has a mark. Bubbles are not a bad thing. You know, sometimes bubbles are controlled. Okay. So it has no other mark on it, correct?
Correct. I mean, it has this thing on the bottom.
Okay, so first what has to happen is they have to get a blowpipe, they have to blow, right? They have to blow through it. They have to make the orb, right? They have to make that sphere. They have to cut the top of the sphere. Then they have to make the feet. So they have to actually, again, go through and with the hot glass, they have to make the 3 feet. And they do that sort of with a nuance, with a little finesse of the wrist, right? And then they have to cut those off and allow it to anneal or cool down. So that's what you have. You have a piece that is a pontil. Yes, a pontil is actually where you're going to see the blowpipe is broken off. So yours could be sharp, or it could, of course, be actually smoothed down too. So your particular piece is used sort of as a decorative element, your pontil at the bottom. So that particular piece to me has a lot of the same types of forms that you would see in the great glass furnaces of places like Murano. It is not delicate enough to be a piece of Orfors, for example, from Scandinavia. It looks more like sort of the quick blown glass pieces that you would see in the Southern Mediterranean. Now, could it be made in the United States? Yes, but it's probably not an American piece. So how much did you pay for it?
$2.99.
Oh, that's great. So value on that piece is going to be just about $100. So for $2.99, you did pretty darn well.
Yay!
Thanks so much. Keep finding those real bargains. There's lots of things that you can find out there. And without more information about the individual pieces, we can't talk about individual designers and such, which I normally would give you a list of. It could be this, it could be that, it could be this person or that person, because, you know, she doesn't have any information and she got it at this particular place. So looking online and sort of looking through image after image after image isn't really going to do you much good. That's why I want you to understand more about how these pieces actually are made and understanding the materials the way experts do. We don't only go by signatures or marks or labels because those can easily be faked. Forgeries abound in that particular way. So we've had some great guests, some wonderful objects, a lot of support of the channel. I appreciate that too. The best thing you can do for me, of course, thanks for the super chats and the super stickers. Don't forget to share the channel. I'm Dr. Lori, the PhD Antiques Appraiser. I'm here to help you. I'll see you next time.